Hello and welcome! This is the very first lesson about ukulele, so if you already feel comfortable with the different parts of the ukulele and kind of how to hold it, you can go ahead and skip past this lesson. So, we're going to start at the very top. This part right here is the head. So it's kind of like a person's body, if you want to think about it. I always say it's like a newborn baby because you want to be gentle with it. So we've got the head right up here. And then on the head, you'll notice that there are 4 different tuning pegs. And most standard ukuleles have 4. If you get a really fancy one, it might have like 6 or 8. It just kind of depends. But that is the trademark of the ukulele, that it has 4 strings. There are different kinds of heads. There are some that have opens, so the tuning pegs would be open and it would be an open front. There are some that you have the tuning pegs on the back, and so you would turn it on the back. And then there's some like mine where you have them on the side. But each tuning peg connects to a different string, so it's going to be important that you know where that string is so you can figure out how to manipulate it when we get to tuning. Then we have right here, this little piece of plastic is called the nut, and basically what it does is it keeps the strings from touching the neck, because if it was touching the neck it wouldn't vibrate to produce any sound. Then we have the neck, this really long part right here, and this is where all the left-handed action happens, like playing chords or going up or down the frets to change the pitch of the strings. Speaking of, we have these little metal bars right between that are called frets. There's also, on the sides, there are fret markers so that you kind of know where standard numbers are, and then they have them on the tops as well. The sides are for you so that you can see when you're playing. So when you are playing and you're making a chord, what you want to do is you want to push with the tip of your finger, the very top part, the soft part, although after a while it'll get callousy. You want to push between the fret, not on the fret, because if you push right on it, it gets kind of crunchy. So you want to push between. And you can hear how the further up you go, the higher the pitch goes. Okay, then we have this beautiful part called the body. Some people break it down into 2 parts, the upper and the lower. We have the sound hole, the bridge, which is this big wooden part, and then right here, this is called the saddle. Very much like the nut, but it's on the bottom. And it has the same operation, just keeping the strings atop of the bridge so that it can vibrate and make sound. Okay, so let's go into posture. I prefer playing either sitting crisscross or sitting on my knees. It's up to you, but you want to have your chest kind of free so that the ukulele can rest there. If you start with the ukulele with the sound hole facing out and the head facing up, you're going to take it to your left. So the head is going to go with the left hand. And it's going to be at a slight angle. So when I put it up against my chest, you really want to have it angled about, like I say, between 9:45 and 10, if you think about it as a clock. So then your right arm, your forearm, is where you're going to do the seat belt or cradle hold. So you want to do it right about the middle of your forearm. And that's how it's going to stay connected. So I like to think of this as like a chicken wing. If you can move your arm so that it looks like a chicken wing, you're doing it correctly. If it's all the way up here and your elbow is way up here, it's too high up. And then you're going to be playing way up high on the neck, which is not super great, because then if you want to play and access all these frets, you can't. So you want to have it about halfway on your forearm, which is going to leave the proper playing place actually right above the sound hole. So we're looking at this area right here for our strumming. Okay. Get my angle correct. Now your left hand, it should be able to kind of float, because your right hand is the one that's doing all the major holding. So your left hand is going to, when you start, be the thing that holds up the neck and the head. Now if you're brand new and you want to test out how to do some simple just strumming, I always use the side of my thumb right here, the soft part, and I start by gently pushing the strings down. And you can leave your left hand flat as a table to kind of help support. What you don't want to do is you don't want to pinch the string, because if you do that, it's automatically going to pull the string out, and the string's not meant to do that. So if you hear that snapping sound, that means that the string is coming and it's slapping the neck. And sometimes that's okay for guitar because that's a style of playing, but for ukulele, since our strings are made out of plastic and nylon, you want to be really gentle with them. So you strum down, and it doesn't take a whole lot. If you notice that you're moving the string and it's like really moving out of place when you play, that's a little too hard. You want to do it really gently so that the strings don't move too much. That's gonna make a little ping sound, and it's a little too hard on the string. Just a nice gentle strum. You can start with your hand like mine if you're starting strumming to kind of hold the body a little bit. That's just fine, and you can use your thumb. If you're a bit more advanced, you can use your pointer finger, and you can kind of use your nail. Now I want to take a second and I want to look at wrist action when you're playing. Your wrist should be really gentle and flowy. You don't want to have it too rigid. That's going to create a lot of tension, and it's going to put a lot of pull right here. And it might end up giving you carpal tunnel because it's just putting a lot of pressure. So just a really gentle wrist action. It should be very flowy. You should not feel a lot of tension in that wrist. Okay, I hope this starting video has helped you. I cannot wait to add some chords and to hear you guys. I can't wait to hear how you guys play. Mahalo!